We're joined by a soon-to-be Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. James Blair. Welcome, Mr. Blair. Thank you for joining us. So day one, what's on the agenda for day one, the afternoon of his inauguration?
Hey, thanks for having me, Trey. Look, day one is going to be action-packed. What you will see is the president work quickly and aggressively to implement the policy that he campaigned on, especially those that can be done through executive action. So these are things like securing the border, unleashing American energy, getting wokeness out of the military and restoring it to being the world's most lethal and well-trained fighting force, getting men out of women's sports. Those are the types of things that you will see President Trump focus on in the earliest days of his administration.
All right, over the past couple of weeks, I have heard President Trump ask for the debt ceiling to be raised, and then 30-some-odd House Republicans rejected that. He wanted Mike Johnson as Speaker. Some Republicans could not do that without having to have their hands held and their egos stroked. So how are you going to navigate such a fractious House Republican conference?
Well, look, President Trump ultimately was given a mandate, as you referenced in your opening, by the American people. This is the first time a Republican has won the popular vote in 20 years, and the first time a non-incumbent Republican has won the popular vote since 1988. He won by millions of votes. And what the president wants to see is people to unify around the agenda that they clearly voted for, and that is his agenda. In the House, look, there's 13 districts in the House that President Trump won that a Democrat was just seated in. In the Senate, there's 2 Senate seats up in Georgia and Michigan and states the president just won. The president wants to see people come together and unify behind the agenda that he campaigned on, that they swept majorities in both chambers of Congress into power to help him with, and that's what he hopes to see happen. So I think it'll just be working with those folks and letting them share their differences, but ultimately we're confident that both chambers will come together and pass legislation that the American people want to see, which is the Trump agenda.
That's one reason you're going to be really good at your job, is because some people use the sugar and then some people like to use the whip, and you got to have it for different people. He was asked by the media whether he would primary senators who would vote against certain cabinet nominees, and he says it depends on what the reason is. I would ask the same thing about the House. Will he potentially intervene in House primaries for those members who just can't seem to get on board with what you and I have both referred to as a mandate?
Look, I don't want to, say exactly what the president will or won't do, because he reserves that prerogative when the time is right. But I think he is known for being very active in politics. He is not afraid to express his opinion publicly and clearly. That's what he's done on the policy, and that's what he intends to get done as the president, and he expects the majorities in Congress to help him with that. So I will reserve comment for what he'll ultimately decide to do, but this has always been a very active political president. He is the one with the mandate, and the will of the people is behind him, and I think he will use that to his benefit to make sure the policies he ran on get enacted.
All right, you and I are going to leave with a little bit of sense of humor. Joe Biden is not known for a sense of humor, but he did say something I thought funny over the holidays. He said he would have beaten Donald Trump in the general election. I'm guessing he's basing that on his commanding debate performance, but what did you think when you heard Joe Biden said he actually would have won the general election?
I'll tell you what I think, Trey. I don't know if you've ever gone back to the town you grew up in over Christmas, visited the local Applebee's or something for dinner. You see the guy you went to high school with there in the bar. He's a few too many drinks deep, and now he's bragging to the bartender that he would have beat Muhammad Ali if he'd just tried because he was a backyard boxer in high school. I think that's what Joe Biden sounds like right now. Look, President Trump demolished Joe Biden in the debate. Ultimately, Joe Biden tried, and many people have said it was the greatest presidential debate performance of all time. He knocked Joe Biden right out of the race. He beat the backup plan, and he stopped the march of the radical left in its tracks. So the American people are all going to be better off for that very soon. And I would say this: if Joe Biden was so sure he was going to win, why'd he let Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama bully him out of the race? I'm not sure who bullied him more. Those two are the Taliban.
James Blair, you have a very important job beginning here shortly. We wish you all the best, and thank you for joining us on a Sunday night. Happy New Year.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.